Okay, some fans have been so shaken by the glass scene in the trailer that they changed all the glassware with plastic, including me.
Good, that's safe.
Very smart.
Just check the ice cubes, you know?
And I think that, I don't think any of us pick up a penny on the street anymore.
No.
I still have my penny.
Keep that
Of the
one.
screening, so.
Keep that one.
Hiliu, ada yang terang tapi bukan lampu. Ada yang merah tapi bukan api. Itu loh, tombol subscribe. Buruan ya, subscribe YouTube channel Cinema 21 sekarang juga.
Hi everyone, my name is Nandra. I represent Cinema 21, the largest cinema chain in Indonesia. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice
to meet you.
Okay, some fans have been so shaken by the glass scene in the trailer that they changed all the glassware with plastic, including me.
Good, that's safe.
Very smart.
Just check the ice cubes, you know?
Final Destination is known for the inventively brutal death scenes, right? How do you guys come up with fresh ideas that are not only scary but also very creative?
One of the things that we start with is trying to think of things that are very relatable that we can ruin for people. So what are objects or places that everyone goes to? That's what makes Final Destination so great, is that it's regular stuff from your normal life that's then twisted and made horrible. We try and think of all the places that are relatable, and then start thinking of what are the different objects in that space that could interact with each other, and trying to think of what's physically possible, because we never want it to feel magical or like things are being lifted or they all have to behave in the way that actual objects can, which is very challenging. And you write all that down and then you try it and then it doesn't work and then you have to change it all again, and it just goes around and around in that process for several years.
Have any of you taken extra precaution after watching the movie?
Yeah.
Yes, I always inspect my drink. Make sure there's no glass in there.
I've bubble wrapped everything in my home just to be extra safe.
I don't drive with like a butterfly clip in my hair. I'll take it out if I'm like getting in the car. Straws freak me out. These are not things that happen in the movie, but I'm just looking around. I'm always like waiting for.
I work in a cafe and there's like a food safe course that you have to take where if anything breaks, you have to clean everything out. You have to let the ice drain out. So yeah, I mean, I've always been taking precautions when it comes to glass.
Speaking of the death scene, were there any scenes that made you go like, okay, this is really messed up, but like in a good way? Like it's entertaining and fun, without any spoilers, of course.
Many. There's a whole backyard barbecue sequence, which has a lot of that.
MRI machine.
MRI
the finger.
The finger. The finger gets me every
is
time.
intense.
Every single time.
The finger, you'll know what we mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
almost it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched the movie.
Tattoo parlor.
Still very fresh in my mind.
You can't unsee it.
You know, and I think that I don't think any of us pick up a penny on the street anymore.
No.
I still have my penny.
Keep that
Of the
one.
screening, so.
Keep that one.
The fans are very curious about how you guys do the terrifying scenes, all the behind the scenes stuff. What's one behind the scene moment or any fun fact that you can share about the shooting of the Final Destination Bloodlines?
We start each scene together, kind of reading the script and figuring out what are the most important moments of it. We always ask ourselves this one question with every scene in the movie: how can we make this the best scene in the movie? So we kind of look at it and think about what are the shots that will recreate that feeling that we're going after. How would we execute those shots? How can we make those shots feel unique from anything else that's in the movie? How do we make sure that we're not repeating anything that's been done in the previous Final Destination?
They're so descriptive and so particularly like choreographed. It takes full days to shoot any one of these sequences because it is so down to a T. And we even see it in the movies. You can see all of the sequences and how they have all the little tiny beats of buildup. And you have to get everything at the exact like strategic angle, so you have to repeat a lot of the things. Within the big scenes, you can only do them once or twice because the cleanup would be crazy. So you have to make sure that everything is perfectly in its place.
One fun thing is we did so many practical effects, whether it was blowing up buildings or lighting people on fire. We also made a lot of makeup effects bodies, you know, fake bodies that we could tear apart on screen, so that when you're watching someone get torn apart, it's very real what's happening in front of your eyes, and that was a lot of fun to do.
I had a very big scene my first day of filming, and there's so much prep. I had to go get a cast made of my arm and a scan of my head, and Todd Masters, our special effects guy, like, you know, their team was painting the moles on my arm to match my arm exactly. I mean, it looked exactly like my body. It was really intense.
The most traumatizing thing for me was Anna said she had to get like a head scan. I had the good fortune of getting to do what they did in the 80s or 90s. They put straws in your nose and then they proceed to do layer by layer of goo to really get a nice mold of your face. And it takes about an hour and a half for that to really harden. And by the end of it, you can't hear and they're kind of knocking on you and making sure that you're still conscious. And then at the end of it, they cut like the back, they cut and then they attempt to pry this mold off of your head so they can make like little pieces of your cheek and stuff. So that was terrifying.
We have lots of Easter eggs in there for the fans. If you look at the poster of Final Destination 5, it has a skull with metal piercing through it, and we kill a character in the exact same pattern of that metal piercing through the skull that's on his body.
A lot of our followers are still very hesitant to dive into the Final Destination franchises. There are also a few that have been avoiding it since they're in high school. What would you tell them to help them decide if Bloodlines is the one that they should see?
Well, you know, it's interesting because this movie, it's categorized as a horror movie, but I think people are surprised by how funny it is and how much they laugh in the movie.
It's really fun and it's really smart.
Yeah, it's so fun. It's funny too.
It's funny.
So
Yeah.
funny.
So fun.
It's true that people die and it's very bloody, but it's also very funny and unpredictable and surprising in a way that makes people laugh. And we always said we wanted to make a movie that people have to watch covering their eyes, but also while they're laughing at the same time. And it's a great movie to see in the theater for that reason, because you have a crowded theater with people, you know, screaming and laughing. It's kind of like being on a roller coaster.
Well, they definitely should watch
It's not gonna happen to you. It's not gonna happen to you.
The chances are so slim.
They're not, legally we have to say they're not zero.
If you go see Final Destination Bloodlines, then you're more prepared than people who didn't see the movie.
That's right.
Because you're gonna see it all coming.
You go,
You're
here's
gonna
a log.
know what could happen. Exactly.
You know?
Yeah, you'll know. Don't go into a tall rotating restaurant.
When you're thinking about the trauma, you think about the fun.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The trauma is the fun.
Okay,
That's what you're paying for, is the trauma.
I agree. Okay, so as you can see behind my back, the movie will be screened on IMAX in Indonesia. Why do you guys think people should see it in the biggest screen possible?
Because it's meant and shot to be seen in a theater with a huge audience.
Yeah.
That's how movies are supposed to be watched. I think everybody who's watching movies at home or on their phones or on their computers are missing out on
Big time.
the experience of being in the dark, in the quiet, away from your life, particularly something like this, which is the experience of being around other people who are also going,
That's what I was
oh
gonna
no,
say.
at the same time, you just get caught up in it and carried away, and it's part of the magic of movies.
Why would you cut the thrills in half and watch it on your laptop? You know?
Yeah.
Go get yourself into an IMAX, you know.
It's a throwback. It's a popcorn movie. It
Come
should be seen
on.
on the biggest screen.
I agree.
We did something really special with the IMAX version of this movie. We designed a specific shot in every single scene where the camera pushes forward right at the moment that death is arriving into the scene to start killing people. And it's in those shots where the camera's pushing forward that the aspect ratio opens up into the IMAX aspect ratio. Basically, like, death itself is being announced by going into the IMAX mode of the movie. Because it almost feels like the movie theater is kind of opening up and pushing yourself into the movie, which creates a lot of tension and excitement. And it's only going to be available in IMAX. It's never going to be in the home video version. It's never going to be on streaming. So if people want to experience that, they have to go to the IMAX.
Do you have anything else to say to the people in Indonesia that can't wait to see Final Destination Bloodlines?
We hope you love
you
it.
love it.
We
And
can't
you're
wait.
going
We
to
can't
love it.
wait.
Thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a good
you.
day.
Asik kan videonya? Jangan lupa like, subscribe, dan komen ya. Sampai bertemu di video selanjutnya.